Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Today I'm going to be teaching you most common gym injuries. So this is a huge topic. My name is Brent Kasmer. I've been doing this a long time, and I work with thousands of busy people. And the key is speed. Obviously, everyone wants results fast. Everybody wants to get in and out of the gym and their sessions and get the most out of it. But what are the most common gym injuries? This is what we deal with a lot as a trainer, as a coach, because you're trying to help people through things because they're starting something new because of the fact that they haven't done anything for a while. The biggest thing is the fact that muscles get stronger faster than your tendons. So a lot of times you might start to feel good, like you're just starting a regimen and you feel great, but your tendons and your insertion points aren't ready to bear all the load that you're ready to put on it. So I want to teach you not only what the most common gym injuries are, but also ways to prevent it. So you're going to get the ways to prevent it and the ways to actually heal it as well. So stay with me and you're going to get all this information. So I'm not just going to talk about the injury, I'm going to talk about how to solve the problem also. So tendonitis in the elbow. Most people come in, and the biggest thing when they start a workout regimen, or even if you've been in a workout regimen, it doesn't take much. People think, so in your mind you think it's an overuse injury. So tennis elbow or tendonitis is not an overuse injury. Typically it's too much of a load put on a small muscle. So what happens is if you notice that when you're right here, this insertion point on the elbow, the tendon, if you're wiggling your finger, you can see that muscle bouncing. So what happens is, a lot of times people are going to be doing chin-ups, or they're going to be doing bent over rows, or they're going to be doing something where they're pulling, and the weight, the resistance of the weight is hanging on their fingers. So they're holding it in a claw form, opposed to like gripping the bar or the whatever you're using super tight, the handles for the cable machine. So the biggest thing is you get fatigued and you're doing a row, and all of a sudden the bar's hanging on the very edge of your fingers because you're just trying to finish those last couple reps, and it pulls primarily on the ring finger, and it triggers the pain in that elbow. So it can happen really fast. The ways to work around that, one, obviously you want to make sure that you're holding the bar secure. So make sure you have the bar in the meat of your hand. So when you're grabbing something, you want to make sure that you see your whole knuckle on that bar. You don't want to just have it in this position where all you see is your fingertips when you're rowing the bar to you. All right, so that's one thing just to watch for. So when you know you're tired, honestly, just set it down, take a deep breath, re-grip that bar, and then go at it again. A couple key things to help with this, to aid it, so that way if this is already happening and you've already suffered that injury and the tendonitis is already in the elbow, you've seen the bands. So people use those bands to put around the tendon to help alleviate the pressure from the tendon and just letting you use the muscle. So those little arm bands that people use, and they attach right here, right on the end of the muscle, on the tendon. And what that does is it keeps the pressure off of the tendon and primarily on the muscle, okay? So those bands do help. They're not like a gadget or a gizmo. The other thing that you would do is a myofascial release on it. What is that? So what happens is you have myo, which is your muscle. Fascia is the actual lining on top of the muscle, and you just want to do a myofascial release. And those are the things that we've talked about prior. Or you would use a foam roller. Sorry, I know you got to roll with me. So you can use a foam roller. All my little gadgets on the watch here, so I'm going to walk back over here, sorry. So you can do this a couple different ways. Just putting it on the ground and starting right near the elbow, crossing your arm over top of it, and just rolling it out. This is honestly just kind of, it's similar to a massage, so you're creating a massage for your forearms itself. So if you guys have any questions, definitely ask questions in the comments. So myofascial release, and then also using the lacrosse ball, same premise. So, just pushing it on there, pinning your arm in, and then that way you can roll this out. So your goal is to try to roll the muscle out, because a lot of times it's seized up and it's pulling too hard and it's not releasing to let the tendon relax. So you got knots here that pull on this tendon to keep it inflamed. All right, so that's the most common gym injury. People see this all the time. One couple other tricks real quick I'll show you. Follow me over here, I'm sorry. Is also the barbells, putting the barbells at a level where you can actually, same premise, putting that arm on there, putting this arm on, and see how that bar spins? So these are another great way to actually roll out that forearm so that way, you can get a good, myofascial release on it. A couple other key ways to stretch the muscle out. So it's almost like a calf stretch. So you'll put your hands pointed back at you and just leaning back on them, trying to keep those fingers nice and straight and flat, and just leaning back and just stretching that forearm as well. So hopefully all those things make sense, okay? So how it happens, so we got the cause of it. We got a couple extra things in there about the myofascial release on it and the stretching it to help also, and then using the band temporarily as well. And if it doesn't go away, within a few weeks, then you do need to take some time off, and I know a lot of people hate to hear that, but taking some time off of doing those types of motions that aggravate it. Doesn't mean stop doing what you're doing to get in shape, but it means to just do not aggravate it anymore, okay? Other common injuries, and this just goes across the board, is knee pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, and this comes from one, lack of warming up and incorrect form on exercises. So always make sure you're doing the correct form when you're exercising. Make sure you just understand whether you set up a video camera and videotape yourself. Ask a trainer that obviously has a lot of knowledge and knows what's going on with your body. Just say, hey, you mind watching my form real quick, and just looking at, make sure it's correct. So form is huge, very important. If you haven't seen some of my other past videos about knee pain or shoulder pain, definitely watch those as well. But just a quick couple tips on how to keep, from knowing what type of knee pain it is. So a lot of times people will get what's called runner's knee, or tendonitis in their IT band, where it's like this muscle gets super tight because you have like different things going on in your leg where everything attaches. This all comes down to attachments for one, and then muscles being overworked and underworked. So you need to kind of know where your body's balances are to get it all working properly. All right, so if you have knee pain, same premise, rolling out your IT band, which I just did a video last week on that, but it's right along the side, so you're starting with it at your hip and rolling down towards your knee, okay? And you'll feel, like when you hit that knot, it'll make you, send some shock waves up to your body. So you'll know when you hit that spot, and you'll tense up, and the goal is to just relax, okay? Relaxing, rolling down the IT, just like so, nice and slow, and then all the way back. But you want to get about to your knee, not over top of it, but just to it, and just going back and forth on that IT band. So a couple things are the IT, the TFL, which is your hip. So same thing, this is going to go up towards your hip, and you're just going to roll back and forth, because the TFL runs laterally across your hip, and just rolling back and forth, helping to relieve any of the, adhesions, which is just small micro tears in that area, to help it as well. And then the VMO, which comes right up in through here as well. So rolling that out just like so also. So coming across up to the knee and then all the way back up to your hip. So those are common ways to help with knee pain, but same thing. So we went through what the problem, how to help it a little bit, but the cause is making sure you're squatting properly. So when you squat, you want to make sure you're staying on your heels, almost where there's no pressure on your toes, and keeping your hips and everything and your back nice and straight and tight in a line. If you feel like you can't get in that position because you're scared to go down, the next best thing is to put something behind you so that way it catches your butt, but it helps to get you off of your toes and you're sitting back on your heels, okay? So sitting back on your heels, pushing up through your heels as well, and squeezing your thighs and glutes to keep them engaged. So if you feel like you can't squeeze your muscles, just stay with the body weight stuff until you can actually feel that engaging of your body and you know and understand it as well. Okay? So knee issues, knee pain is one of the other common injuries that you see in the gym. Tendonitis in the elbow is number one, 2 is the knee, and then shoulders as well. And a lot of this stuff can be solved also just by warming up. Don't let your ego, don't let your whatever it is, like, oh, so-and-so's lifting heavy weight, I'm going to jump in real quick and, right with them because I got here late. Take 5 to 10 minutes and run through the motions of whatever body parts you're hitting to warm up, okay? So warm up is key. Your future self is telling you to warm up because of the fact that if you don't, you're going to be in worse shape later on in life, okay? So take those few minutes and warm up. Like I said, the last one I'm going to go over is shoulders. A lot of times, same thing. People, it's huge. Like they jump into things too fast, and their body's just not ready. And that's a lot of times what happens with the shoulder injuries. Other things to help solve not getting shoulder injuries is doing a lat pull down behind your head. You don't want to do any type of motion behind your head. It just puts your shoulders at a position where they just aren't naturally supposed to be in. So don't do any like behind the neck pull downs. Don't do it, especially heavy. Behind the back military presses, like a shoulder press behind your head. And then the biggest things to help building those strengths, because most people, because they always want to press or wanting to bench press, you're wanting to do things in that forward line, is making sure you're always working the opposing muscles just as much. Someone can come in and bench like 300 pounds and they can't even do a row with 20 pounds on it. It's all that force, all that push is just, you're building too much strength here, too much imbalance in the back of your shoulders, so therefore it's just the higher susceptibility for injury. So making sure you're working those agonist and antagonist muscles, so you're the muscle you're working and the opposite muscles as well. And then things to help these, are, making sure you're warming up. You grab a nice easy band, doing over and backs, just getting your shoulder mobility in place, holding a light dumbbell, doing rotation, external rotations with it, just getting them nice and loose. Face pulls. I'll show you real quick what a face pull is. Let's see what I got over here. Just putting this bar up, and you're just going to go ahead and grab a rope, and you're just pulling this towards your forehead, opening those shoulders up. This is a great exercise. You can almost do this every single day. Just nothing crazy, nothing hard, but just everybody's always so internally rotated with their jobs and with what they're doing. And you just sit here like this and come to the gym, you're doing all the same type of motions, and everybody's shoulders are all rolled in always. So making sure you're opening the shoulders up as well. And then one other treatment for this is a lot of times what happens is the insertion up under your arm here gets super tight, pulls that shoulder forward, plus you rolling those shoulders forward. So key things to do would be, Same type of premise as myofascial release, but you want to do it on your back. So laying down, you're just going to bridge your butt up. You're just going to roll with your arms above your head a couple reps, back and forth. And then you're going to reach around and grab the back of your shoulders, which helps open your scapula up. And that way you get in there and you get right along that area. This is great because everybody's sitting so much, and you want to make sure that you're foam rolling that stuff out. And then also your lat as well. So how you do that is just laying on your side, keeping your palms facing up, then straight in a line with your head, and you're going to use this top leg to help push you down your lat to help roll that out as well. All right, so just like so, nice and slow, back and forth. All right, so those are some strengthening exercises, some myofascial releases. There's also stretches as well to do, but make sure you take that time, warm up, get your body fired up and ready to go prior to any type of exercise that you're getting ready to do, whether it's a long run, start off with a light run. Whether it's coming in and hitting upper body, make sure you warm up your upper body. Get your heart rate elevated, get a little tiny sweat going, get everything loosened up. Don't go into it fresh stretching. Get loosened up, get a warm up in, and then end your workout with a good long stretch. When I say long stretch, like 15 minutes is a long stretch, all right? So make sure you take time and take care of yourself. Your future self is going to appreciate it. So these are your most common injuries in the gym. And then my name is Brent, Kasmer. I'm doing this a long time. If you need help and you're like wondering where to start or how to get better results faster, and you want to know how to automate 80% of your nutrition and maximize the 20% of the effort that you need to just put into the gym, you're tired of wasting your own time, definitely hit me up, direct message me, personal message me. Let me help you out. Let me take care of you. Quit wasting all your time and get this done right and get it done fast. All right, see you in the next episode.